Hey guys, Matt aka Martiln here, and welcome to episode 5 of Make a Track Monday, a series where I make a track from start to finish as part of Beat Collective's fortnightly challenge. This round's samples have been provided by Jamis Begby. I'll link his socials and stuff down in the description. I'm a bit pressed for time this episode, and also my desk fell apart the other day. So unfortunately I won't be able to use my Nord keyboard, but fingers crossed, I can still get out something awesome for you guys. Don't forget that if you want to participate in these challenges yourself, you can head over to www.beatcollective.net, sign up for the mailing list, and get the samples for each round delivered straight into your inbox. Alrighty, that's enough of an introduction, so without any further ado, let's jump right in. Okay, so I've got an Ableton Live session open up here with the samples already loaded in as usual. This first sample is just a short vocal sample. I'll play it to you really shortly.
With a twist.
That will be really interesting to try and get in there. This second sample is really cool. It's just like a lot of water noises, and I'm kind of thinking that maybe I'll do some kind of like down-tempo thing using these water sounds as like drum percussion sounds, mixing them, layering them with like claps and snares and kick drums and stuff like that to get some really cool effects. I'll just play a little bits of this. So I reckon we're going to be able to get some really cool textures out of that one. So I'm just going to, I reckon, start with a bit of a drum beat, trying to incorporate these water sounds, and then I will be back when I've got something worth sharing. Okay, so I've got a little bit of a drum beat going on here, just use some of the water samples and some of the voice samples and just layered some drums underneath, and it sounds like this. Kind of cool. I think I should probably be able to do something with that. Maybe add a bit of like a bass line, turn it into kind of like a hip-hoppy vibe, or I don't know. We'll see where it goes. But basically, I just kind of took bits of the water sample, just kind of laid a basic kick and clap pattern out, took bits of the water sample and just made it sound like stuff. And this is the samples that I use. Basically, I'll solo them. So these are all from the different samples. I think they're pretty cool. So yeah, I'll add bass lines, some chords and stuff. See how I go doing that without my Nord here. I'll have to use my little MIDI Novation, or maybe the Ableton Push could be a good way to learn how to play some chords on that one. But yeah, I'll do something when I've got something worth showing again. I will be back with you guys. Okay, so I've added this neat little ARP thing here that I'll just show you really quickly. So I think it's pretty cool. The way I did that, I created this MIDI channel just here with the chords that I used for the chords instrument that I've got there. Just extended them out in the MIDI using the legato button just there. Really helpful, really good for doing this. And then what I did, I put an arpeggiator on it, set to random other to be exact, the short gate and the 16th note rate. And then I've got this neat little MIDI effect rack preset that I created a little while ago. Basically what it does is randomly let certain notes pass through and certain notes not pass through into whatever instrument you have after it. So what I did, I sent this MIDI channel into this MIDI channel which has the instrument on it, then recorded it a bunch of rounds, and then picked the one that I liked the best, and then it ended up sounding like this. I think it's pretty cool. So I think I've got a nice little basis for a track here to work with, and I'm going to now start extending it out, adding some more things, and then I'll see you again in a little bit. Okay, so it turns out my recording's been screwing up a little bit in terms of the sound. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it all works. You probably missed pretty much quite a few things that I've done up until this point. So basically, I've added these kind of vintage jazz keys sounds, and I'll play you what I have at the moment. So that's basically it. I think it sounds pretty cool. So yeah, I don't know when it cut out, so I'll just go through things basically. Yeah, so the vintage jazz keys, just kind of a little cool jazzy progression that I came up with. So in the intro here, I've also got this ambient kind of sounds like this, which basically I just created by stretching out the first sample a whole bunch and then adding some reverb to it. And then yeah, you'll notice also this kind of second section here that I did, added some kind of like low end bass, sounds like this, kind of like really subby bass, and just have it kind of jumping around octaves for fills in the end of each of the bars. I've got this little noise burst here, which is basically just the a little bit of the sample 2, just like compressed. So basically it just sounds like noise. It could essentially just be noise, but I just decided to use the sample for whatever reason. I've got this little wubby bass just here. Sounds pretty cool. And on the entirety of the drums bus, I've also added this kind of like redux device, which just makes it sound a little bit more kind of lo-fi, I suppose. This is with it, this is without it, this is with it. Yeah, so it just makes it sound a little bit kind of old school lo-fi. And yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to use any of the ARP or original chords or bass that I had, but we'll see. I don't really want this to be too long of a track, maybe like 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. Alrighty, so I've got about a minute worth of stuff here. I won't play you the whole thing. I'll just play you what I've added. So basically from that kind of bassy, subby thingy, going back into the chords, I've just built it up so it does the full chord progression basically like once through, with some of the bass kind of popping in and out. And yeah, it kind of sounds, I'll play it from here. So that's what I've got. I probably won't be able to work on it anymore today because I'm going out tonight and I need to get ready, but I will be able to do some more over the weekend and get this video out to you on Monday along with the track. So that's it for this session, but I will see you in like 2 seconds. Okay, so it is a new day and I've done a little bit of work on what I've got here. I've added in some toms in the drum rack. I'll solo the drum rack so you can hear what they sound like. Just like some like 808 toms that just fill in some gaps. I've added this little metal effects thing here, which sounds like this, which fills in this gap nicely. I really like that. And I used the ARP that I'd created before and just basically made this kind of roll, I guess, sounds like this, to fill in these little gaps here in between the chords. And you can probably also hear the toms in there as well. And now I'm starting to work on this kind of breakdown a little bit. So this is what I've got going into it. So I took that the first part of that second sample where it's like the rock splashing into the water, and then basically just lined it up so that it hit at the same time, and also added a bit of a sub drop in one of the bass sounds to get the kind of ending sound of it there. And yeah, now I'm just going to extend out this break a little bit with some probably atmospheric sounds and stuff, and then I'll be back when I've got something to show you. Cool, so I've done a little bit more work. I've got a bit of a break. It's only like 30 seconds, so I'll just kind of play it and walk you through it while it's playing. So, oh, that was a bit off. Anyway, I've added this kind of squeaky, plucky thing, and just basically have the chords, the synth chords that I made before, playing a G minor, and then I filter in the same kind of water hit and drum sounds that I did at the start. Bring in the bass here, which is nice. And then that goes into what will become like the second drop, I suppose. And then I've got the water hits and the Atmos thing that I made at the start, also going along during the break. And then it goes into this thing here, which is like kind of a variation, just kind of like really slow and bassy and kind of wobbly psychedelic stuff almost. Yeah, so I got that. And yeah, so this Atmos is just the same thing. I just grabbed bits and pieces and just crossfaded them together. This water hit as well. Maybe I'll add another one. I'll just grab like this one, put it here just so it hits on the same spot. And yeah, I don't think there's anything else I need to show you that I did during there. Added in the keys and the metal effects thing as well. And yeah, now I'm just going to work on this kind of second droppy part, and then it might end up going back to something similar to what happens in the first part, and then that should probably be the track. So I'll be back with you when that's all happening. Okay, so I've extended it out to what I feel like I need to have extended it out to by this stage. So I won't play you all of what I've got, but basically I've just got this kind of the bass, this kind of B section, I suppose, with the extended bass note going out and just kind of changing timbre at the end of every 2 bars. So it's like, this. And then that goes into kind of basically a copy paste of this section just here, because I'm lazy and can't be bothered and don't have time to vary it a whole lot. And then at the end of this part, I've got the synth chords coming in, playing the same chord progression. And then I've got this going out into basically just the main drums and the kind of staccato-y bass line, but just the first half of it. And then I'll probably... I could just end it like that, really. That could be interesting. And what's that? Just over 3 minutes? That will work perfectly. I'm going to have a listen to that, see if I like it, and hopefully I do, and I can just mix it down. Cool, so I've just listened through it. I like it. I'm going to give it a mix down, and then I will be back. Cool, so I've done a quick little mix down here. It sounds pretty nice, I think. I'll just play you a little bit of it. And you can have a look at the different processing I've got. This is on the synths channel. Got some warm-up highs, EQ, compression, bass, just compression. Just a high pass on the effects. Cool, so I think that sounds pretty nice. What I'm going to do is bounce it and then chuck it into another session where I'm going to master it. Alright, so I've done a bit of a quick master here in my mastering template, which is basically just set up so that it's got the unmastered version of the track, goes through a submaster, goes to the destination channel, and then there's room for a reference track if I want it, and then that both goes straight through to the master, which is really cool. And yeah, so I've just done a quick little master here, catch peaks, autofill to cut off the lows, and on mono lows after that to make sure all the lows are in mono. Basic kind of EQ, boosting the high end because it needed it. Multi-band dynamics, glue compressor, and my trusty W1 limiter. And managed to get some decent loudness out of this while still retaining quite a lot of punch. I'll actually just play you from this little bit just here. I probably could have pushed it a little bit more, but I don't feel the need to, and I kind of like how it sounds, and I'm not trying to compare it with anything else. So, yeah, that is it for this. I think the track is done. I don't need to work on it anymore. It's all mastered, it's all mixed, and yeah, that will be my submission to BC round 24. That's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it and got something useful out of it. Thanks to Beat Collective for hosting the challenges, and to Jamis Begby for providing the samples for this round. As always, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. The track I made in this video will be available to listen to this Thursday. As always, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and if you really enjoy my content and want some cool stuff, head over to my Patreon and support me on there. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Martin, and I'll see you in the next video.